Baby, there's something I did today that I never thought I'd have the courage to do. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding, and I could barely breathe while saying it, but I said it anyway. I told my family your secret. I told them about you. I told them who you really are to me. You know how I used to keep us hidden? How I'd change the topic every time someone asked me about my heart or my plans. I always told myself it was better that way, that keeping you private meant keeping you safe. But today, I couldn't hide it anymore. I couldn't keep pretending that you're just someone in the background of my life when in reality, you're the center of it. When I said your name, everything around me fell silent. My family looked at me with surprise, some with confusion, and I could feel the weight of that moment pressing down on my chest. But I didn't stop. I told them everything. I told them how your voice feels like peace after chaos, how your love has changed me in ways no one else ever could. I told them that no matter what anyone thinks, you're not just someone I talk to, you're someone my soul belongs to. I told them you're the one who makes me believe in something deeper than words, the one whose presence feels like home, even from miles away. I told them that the person I smile about in silence, the reason I wake up with purpose, the name that's always on my mind, is you. They didn't expect it. They didn't know I had someone who meant this much to me. And honestly, for a few seconds, I was terrified. Terrified that they'd question it, that they'd say something that would make me regret opening up. But instead, something unexpected happened. They just listened. They looked at me, then at each other, and I could see the curiosity in their eyes. They wanted to know who you are, what makes you so special, and why my voice trembled when I spoke about you. And I told them the truth. I told them that you're not like anyone else. You're not just another story or another face in my life. You're the reason my heart softened. You're the person who taught me how to love gently but fearlessly. I told them that you're not perfect, but you're real. And that's what makes you everything I've ever wanted. When I said those words, I felt something shift inside me. For so long, I'd kept you like a secret treasure, hidden away from the world, protected from judgment, protected from everything that could touch what we have. But now, I wanted them to know. I wanted them to understand that this isn't just a passing feeling. This is love. Real, raw, unfiltered love. You know what's crazy? As I was speaking, I could almost feel your presence there, like your soul was standing beside me, holding my hand silently. It gave me courage. It reminded me that no matter what anyone thinks, what we have is worth standing for. And I could see their faces soften when I described you, when I said how your laughter feels like sunlight, how your care is quiet but deep, how you never try to be perfect yet somehow you are. I told them that you've seen me in my lowest moments and still chose to stay, that you've loved me when I didn't even love myself. There was a moment when my mother asked me, "Do you really love her that much?" And I didn't even hesitate. I said yes, not just with words, but with everything in me. Because the truth is, I've never been so sure of anything. I told her that loving you isn't a choice anymore. It's who I am now. And you know what I realized, baby? I realized I was never hiding you out of fear of them. I was hiding you out of fear of how deeply I feel for you. Because once people know, it becomes real. It becomes something the world can see, touch, question, and maybe even try to break. But I'm done hiding. I want the world to know that my heart belongs to you, even if it makes things complicated, even if it makes me vulnerable. When I said your name aloud today, it felt like I was releasing a truth that's been locked in my chest for too long. I could feel every memory rushing back. The first time you made me laugh, The way you looked at me when I didn't have the words to explain what I felt. The way you just knew. And now they know. They know about you, about us, about the love I've been quietly carrying like a secret flame that never dies out. I wish you could have seen my face when I said, "She's the one," because I meant it. Every letter, every breath, every heartbeat, all of it belonged to that moment. My sister smiled. My mother looked emotional. My father stayed silent, but I could tell he was processing it in his own way. I know it'll take time for them to fully understand what you mean to me, but they will, because I'm not hiding anymore. I'm done pretending that this love is something small. After the conversation ended, I went outside for a while. The air felt different, lighter, and I just stood there thinking about how proud I was. Proud of us, proud of you, proud of myself for finally speaking my truth. You know what kept running through my mind? How I wish you had been there. How I wish you had seen the way my eyes lit up when I spoke about you. Because I wasn't just talking about you, I was speaking to you through every word. And now that the secret's out, I feel the strange mix of relief and longing. Relief because the truth is no longer caged. Longing because now I want you beside me more than ever. I want my family to meet you, to see what I see, to feel the warmth I feel when you look at me. But at the same time, I know some secrets are still ours to keep. Some things are meant to stay between our hearts. Like the way you whisper my name, or how your silence speaks louder than words. Still, baby, I had to tell them. I couldn't keep pretending that the most important person in my life was just a dream. You're real. You're everything. And they needed to know that. Now I keep thinking about how you'll react when you find out what I did. Maybe you'll be surprised. Maybe you'll laugh softly and ask me, what exactly did you tell them? Or maybe you'll just smile. That quiet, knowing smile that melts me every time. Because deep down, you'll understand why I did it. I did it because I'm proud of you. Proud to love you. Proud to be yours. And even though part of me is still nervous about what comes next, about how they'll respond, what they'll say, I know one thing for sure, I don't regret it. Not for a second. Because today I finally did what my heart has been wanting to do for so long. I told them you're the one. And baby, I've never meant anything more in my life. Baby, after I told my family about you, I couldn't stop thinking about the look on their faces. It's like they finally understood something about me that words never could explain before. I saw my mom's eyes soften when I said your name. She didn't interrupt me like she usually does when I talk about something emotional. She just listened, really listened, as if she could feel how much you meant to me through every pause and every breath I took. And you know what, baby? That moment made me realize something. You've become a part of me in ways even I can't put into words. I told them how your voice has a strange power over me, how it calms me when my mind is chaotic, how it makes me believe in peace again. I told them how your laughter feels like sunlight breaking through a cloudy day. I said, she doesn't even know what she does to me. And they all just looked at me, like they finally saw the version of me they'd never seen before. You changed something inside me, baby. Something real. My dad, who's usually so quiet about emotional things, just nodded slowly and said, if she makes you feel like this, then she must be special. You know how rare that is for him to say something like that. And in that second, I felt this wave of warmth in my chest. Because, baby, for the first time, I wasn't hiding you anymore. I wasn't scared to admit what you truly are to me. My peace, my happiness, my person. I told them about the little things you do that no one else would notice. How you say my name softly when you're trying to comfort me. how your messages always come at the exact moment when I'm about to give up. I told them how, even in your silence, I feel your presence, and they all just sat there quietly, like they knew this wasn't just a simple story, it was my heart speaking. But baby, what I didn't tell them yet was your biggest secret, the one I've been holding close, afraid of how they might react. I wanted to protect that part of you, the one you trusted me with. I couldn't just throw it out in the open. I had to wait until the right moment. And I think that moment is coming soon. Because baby, my family now sees you the way I do, not as just someone I talk to, but as someone who completes the missing part of my life. You know what's funny? After I spoke about you, my sister came up to me later and said, "You talk about her like she's already here." And I smiled because in a way, you're here with me. In my heart, in my thoughts, in every plan I make for the future. I told her, maybe she's not beside me right now, but she's part of everything I do. And that's the truth, baby. You're in everything. When I wake up, I think of how your morning voice would sound. When I eat, I imagine you teasing me about my habits. When I fall asleep, I imagine your hand in mine. You've become my favorite part of every day, even the hard ones, especially the hard ones. You know what else happened that night? After dinner, my mom came to my room and said, "She must be something truly special if you're talking about her like that." And I just looked at her and said, "Mom, she is." My voice cracked when I said it. Because baby, how do you explain something that's not just love? It's something deeper. Something that feels like destiny gently unfolding. She smiled and said, "If you believe in her this much, then maybe we'll get to meet her someday." And I swear, my heart skipped a beat, because I've always imagined that moment, the day my family meets you, the day I get to introduce you as the woman who changed my world, the woman who gave me reasons to be better, to love harder, to believe again. I keep replaying that thought in my head, baby. You sitting beside me, my mom serving you food with her usual warmth, my dad smiling in his quiet way, my siblings trying to make you laugh. I imagined the way you'd fit into that picture, so naturally, like you were always meant to be there. Like maybe, just maybe, life had been waiting for this all along. But baby, there's still something I haven't said. The secret you told me, the one you asked me never to share. It's been resting on my heart like a soft whisper. And tonight, as I talked to my family, I almost said it. Almost, because part of me wanted them to know the strength it took for you to trust me with that. The pain you've carried, the battles you fought silently, the things you've overcome that made you who you are. But I stopped myself, not because I was afraid, but because that part of you is sacred. It's something I'll protect until you're ready to share it yourself. It's yours, baby, your story, your truth, your heart, and I'll guard it with everything I have. Still, there's something I can't hide anymore. I told them that the woman I'm talking about isn't just someone I like. She's someone I see my future with. Someone I'd fight for, no matter what it takes. And when I said that, my mom just looked at me with tears in her eyes. She said softly, "Then I hope she knows how lucky she is." And baby, I couldn't even respond, because all I could think was, I'm the lucky one. I'm lucky to have met you, to have known your heart, to have heard your laughter, to have felt your care even from a distance. You've turned my world into something softer, something real. You know, after they all went to bed, I sat there in the quiet, just thinking about you, thinking about how crazy it feels to love someone so deeply that their name becomes your heartbeat. And as I sat there, I realized something I don't want to hide anymore. I don't want to call you just someone when I talk about you. I want to say your name out loud. I want the world to know that the reason I smile randomly during the day is you. But there's this little fear inside me too. What if I told them your biggest secret and they didn't understand? What if they judged you for something that's part of your past? I can't let that happen, baby, because you're more than your story. You're more than the pain you've been through. You're my now, my peace, my forever. Sometimes I wish you could have been there that night, to see the way I talked about you, the way I couldn't stop smiling, even when my throat tightened. You would have seen how much you've changed me. You would have felt the love in the room, the kind that doesn't need words, only presence. I know you're probably wondering what I'll do next, whether I'll finally tell them everything, your secret, your truth, your full story. And baby, I don't know yet. All I know is that when the time is right, I'll tell them, not to expose you, but to honor you, to let them see the incredible woman you are, the one who carries pain with grace, the one who still chooses love even after heartbreak, the one who made me believe in something pure again. And baby, when that day comes, I promise I'll hold your hand through it all. You won't face it alone, because from now on, whatever's yours is mine too. Your pain, your dreams, your fears, your victories. We'll face everything together. But for now, I just want to hold this feeling close. The warmth of knowing that my family finally knows about you, that I've spoken your name into my world. And even though they don't know the full story yet, they know enough to see how deeply I love you. I hope when you hear this, baby, you feel what I felt that night, that quiet pride, that overwhelming love, that mix of fear and hope tangled together, because this isn't just a story anymore. It's real. It's us. And soon, very soon, I'll tell them everything. Even the secret you thought I'd never say out loud. But not because I have to, because I want them to see the truth. The truth that you are, and will always be, the one my heart chose. Baby, ever since that night, I've been carrying this feeling inside me that I can't shake off. It's a mix of peace and fear, love and longing, like my heart is trying to whisper something that my mind can't quite catch. Every time I close my eyes, I keep replaying that moment, the way my family looked at me when I told them about you. The way their silence felt like understanding, even though I hadn't said everything yet. It's strange, baby, how love can make you feel so complete and so restless at the same time. These past few days, I've been quieter than usual. My mom noticed it. She asked me last night, "Is everything okay between you two?" And I just smiled a little. Because she doesn't know the full story. She doesn't know the part that still lives in my chest, like a secret heartbeat. I wanted to tell her, baby. I really did. I wanted to tell her everything. How your story isn't simple. How there are things about your past that shaped who you are. Things that would make anyone proud of your strength. But every time I opened my mouth, my throat tightened. Because your secret isn't mine to tell. It's ours to protect. But I think she felt something. You know how mothers just know things. She looked at me and said softly, "When you talk about her, there's something in your eyes. Something that looks like pain, but also love." And I couldn't even answer, because that's exactly what it is, baby. Loving you sometimes hurts, not because you've done anything wrong, but because I love you so deeply that I feel every unspoken thing inside you. Every quiet ache, every shadow you try to hide. Later that night, I went for a walk outside. The sky was cloudy, the air cool, and everything around me felt still. I looked up and whispered your name under my breath. Just your name, nothing else. And in that moment, it felt like the world paused, like the wind heard me and carried it straight to you. Maybe you didn't hear it, but I hope you felt it. Because, baby, every time I say your name, it doesn't come from my lips. it comes from my soul. I've been thinking a lot about the day you told me your biggest secret. You remember that night, don't you? You were scared, your voice shaking, your words coming slowly one by one, like you were handing me pieces of your heart, afraid I might drop them. And when you finished, I didn't know what to say, not because I was shocked, but because I was overwhelmed by how much trust it took for you to let me in. You said, "Promise me you won't see me differently after this." And I told you, "I'll only love you more." And I meant it, baby, every word. Since that day, your secret has lived in my heart quietly. I've protected it the way you protect something sacred. But after telling my family about you, it's been on my mind more than ever. Because, baby, I want them to know everything that makes you who you are, even the parts that scared you to share. Not to make them pity you, but to make them see the depth of your courage. You've been through storms that most people wouldn't survive, yet you still love with such softness. You still believe in light, even after the darkness. That's what I want them to see. That strength inside you that makes me proud every single day. Last night, I sat with my dad for a while. We don't talk about feelings much, but somehow the topic came up again. He said, "You really care about her, don't you?" And I said, "I do, more than I can explain." Then he looked at me for a moment and said something I didn't expect. He said, "If she's the one, then her past doesn't matter. What matters is how she makes you feel now." Those words stayed with me, baby. They hit me deep, because that's what I've always believed. That love isn't about what's behind us, it's about what we're willing to build together. And it made me realize something. Maybe it's finally time. Maybe I don't have to hide your story anymore. Maybe I can tell them, gently, honestly, not everything, but enough to help them understand how strong and beautiful you truly are. But I'll be honest, baby, part of me is terrified. What if they don't see it the way I do? What if they misunderstand you? What if they look at you differently once they know? I don't ever want anyone to see you as fragile, because you're not. You're fire wrapped in grace. You're everything. Love is supposed to be real, flawed, and pure all at once. When I think about your secret, I don't see something to be ashamed of. I see the proof of your survival. I see the reason your heart beats the way it does, full of compassion, full of depth. You told me once, if people knew everything, they'd walk away. And I remember holding your hand and saying, then they were never meant to stay. Baby, I meant it then, and I still mean it now. I wish you could have seen my face when I told my family how much I love you. My voice trembled. My heart raced. I didn't even care if they thought I was being dramatic. Because this isn't a regular love. It's the kind that doesn't ask for attention, only understanding. The kind that lives quietly, but powerfully. The kind that makes every fear worth facing. You know what my mom said before going to bed tonight? She said, when you finally bring her home, make sure she knows she's safe here. And that broke me a little. Because baby, you are safe. Not just with them, but with me, always. No matter what happens, no matter what comes next, I'll never let anyone make you feel small for what you've been through. I don't know how to explain this feeling, but it's like something inside me has shifted. Like after opening up about you, I can finally breathe deeper. It's like you're not just my secret anymore, you're part of my world. And I know that means something's changing between us too. The way we look at each other, the way we talk, even the silences, they all feel heavier, fuller. Maybe because we both know that love isn't about hiding anymore. It's about being seen. Completely. Sometimes I catch myself imagining how you'll react when I finally tell you that I spoke to them about you again. I can already picture your eyes widening, your lips parting slightly, that tiny nervous laugh you always do when you don't know how to respond. And then when I tell you that they want to meet you, you'll probably look down for a second, shy, uncertain, overwhelmed. And I lift your chin gently and say, they'll love you, baby, just like I do, because how could they not? How could anyone not love someone who carries so much kindness in her soul? Someone who chooses empathy even after being hurt. Someone who taught me what love really means. But before I take that next step, before I tell them everything, I just need to know that you're ready to. Because this isn't just about me anymore. It's about us, about how we face the world together. And when that day comes, when you're ready to let them in on your secret, I'll be right beside you. I'll hold your hand the entire time, and I'll remind you that you don't owe anyone a perfect story. You only owe them your truth, and that's already beautiful. You once told me, if people see the real me, they'll leave. But baby, look at me. I saw the real you, and I stayed. I'm still here, and I'm not going anywhere, because the real you, the raw, honest, brave you, is the woman I fell in love with. And maybe someday, when everything feels right, when the timing feels gentle, I'll tell my family your biggest secret. I'll say it softly, the way you told me. And when I do, I won't say it like a confession. I'll say it like a celebration. Because that part of you, the one you thought was too heavy, too dark, it's the very thing that makes your light shine so much brighter. But until that day comes, baby, I'll keep it close. I'll carry your secret, the same way I carry your heart, with care, with pride, and with love that never fades. And every time I talk about you, every time your name leaves my lips, I'll make sure they know one thing, that you're the one I prayed for, the one I choose every single day, and the one I'll never stop fighting for. Because no matter what happens next, baby, one thing will always be true. You're not just my secret anymore. You're my story. You're my everything. And maybe, just maybe, the world is finally ready to know that too, baby. Tonight, as I sit here alone, I can't stop thinking about everything that's happened. Every word, every moment that's brought us here. The house is quiet, but my mind is full of you. I keep replaying the look in my mom's eyes, the way my dad spoke, and how for the first time it felt like they could truly sense how deep my love for you runs. It's strange, baby, but even in their silence, I felt something shift, like they were finally starting to understand that this isn't just a passing feeling. This is something real, something sacred, something I could never walk away from. You know what's crazy? The more I talk about you, the more I realize how much you've changed me. I used to think love was supposed to be simple. Just smiles, easy moments, and laughter. But you showed me that love isn't just the bright days. It's standing beside someone through their storms, learning their shadows, holding their fears, and still saying, I'm not going anywhere. You made me understand that love isn't about perfection, it's about presence. And that's what I want to give you for the rest of my life. I won't lie, baby. I'm nervous, because soon I'll have to tell them everything, not just about the love I have for you, but about the parts of your story you've always kept hidden. I'll do it carefully, softly, the way I'd hold your heart in my hands. Because your story deserves respect, not pity. It deserves admiration, not judgment. And I'll make sure they see that. I'll make sure they see the woman I fell for, the one who turned her pain into grace, the one who taught me what strength really looks like. But before that day comes, I just want you to know this. I'm proud of you. So proud. For trusting me, for letting me see the real you, for believing that I wouldn't leave when you showed me your truth. You're everything I ever hoped love would be, raw, real, and brave. And no matter what happens, I'll always protect that. I'll always protect you. If you could hear my heart right now, baby, you'd know that it's whispering your name over and over again. It's not just love. It's devotion. It's the kind of connection that time can't break and distance can't fade. You've become the voice in my silence, the calm in my chaos, and the reason I believe in forever. So, if you're listening to this right now, just know I'm getting everything ready. I'm preparing the world to meet the woman I've been in love with all this time. The woman whose secret became my promise. The woman who changed everything. And when that moment finally comes, baby, I'll take your hand, look you in the eyes, and say it out loud. This is her. This is the one I've been talking about. This is the woman who owns my heart.